We're going to take a look at creating a storm drain profile. In our manual, if we're following along in the manual for Power Civil Drainage, we're on page 1-36. What we're going to do is try to get a better handle on what's going on with the system by drawing a profile. So to get ready for that, I'm going to go ahead and open up another view. And I'm going to fit all the graphics to that view, and I'm going to find an area where I can plot the profile. So window in on a blank area. Next I'm going to select the drainage profile, add, and create a new profile. I'll create a profile A. And I simply just need to select where I want to start the profile. Catch basin 9. And I want to go all the way to the outlet structure. So I'm basically going to profile along the road up here. Click Apply. It'll bring up the Edit Drainage Profile dialog. Now there's lots of information here to set up. First being, where do you want the lower left corner, or what we call the registration point? What XY position do you want that to be? You can click the DP button, data point in view 2, to establish the lower left corner. You can set the scale here. The maximum and minimum elevation for your profile. The from node and to node if you need to overwrite that. Next we have display options for drawing the top and bottom of pipe, the design surface and original ground surface. Any crossings can be plotted. So there's a lot of information to set up, not to mention drainage information like the hydraulic grade line, uniform depth and critical depth in the pipe, and so forth. So we have a preference file set up. It's going to have all the options for drawing the display correctly, the drainage information correctly, and all the grid and label type information. We can find that preference file under File, Open on the Edit Drainage Profile dialog. And in my Standards folder, under Site Standards, I've got a Drainage Profile Preferences file. I want to select that, click OK. When I go back to the Display tab, you can see everything's filled out appropriately, and the grid and labels as well. So a lot of that information can be saved off and recalled again and again for plotting purposes. So now that I've established my lower left corner, I've got my display preferences set up, I'm going to go ahead and click Apply. And it's going to go ahead and create the profile in view 2. And if I zoom in, I can see the profile that it's created. So again, the green dashed line is my original ground, and I have my design surface, my bottom and tops of pipes. I've plotted the drainage nodes on there. I plotted the hydraulic grade line, the critical depth, and any crossings. The crossings would be pulled in from water sewer if I was accessing a water sewer project. Now I can make changes to the profile. For example, on the last pipe I can see that the pipe is coming out of ground based on where I put my outlet structure. So I can do several things. I could come in here and lower the pipe. Lower the invert. And you do that on the pipe profile, link profile tab. And we can dynamically edit our profiles. So for example, I'm not sure which link that is, maybe. I can click ID on the link profile tab, ID segment / length, and I can select the link and accept it with a data point, and it'll highlight that particular item in the list. And this is pipe SS4, which flows from the node or junction that we created, catch basin 4, to the outlet structure. I can edit the invert. I can hold inverts here. I can hold slopes that I need to. Or I can graphically edit the invert by clicking the edit invert icon, coming over into view 2, getting close to my invert, and then I can make changes to it. So I can see I can dynamically drag it up or down. So if I zoom out a little bit, I can pull it down to a location that I want. Once I establish that location, by data pointing, it'll hold that invert there. For those changes to take effect, I click Apply, and it will reevaluate the system with the new invert location. So it'll rerun the hydraulics. I'll go ahead and look at the warnings. And you can see here I've got a similar warning to before, but I now have some extra warnings. So you can see graphically what happened is it not only did it pull the pipe that I was editing down, but it also pulled the upstream pipe down as well. So you can see here that it pulled the two pipes down together. So there's other ways to make changes to a system. I can go and edit the nodes, I can edit the pipes, or I can edit the profile. Next, we'll take a look at modifying a node and then reevaluating the system. So I'm going to go ahead and close the profile dialog. I want to turn my attention back to this particular node, which was catch basin 4, and let's take a look at that. So I'm going to zoom so we can see the profile, and in plan view we're going to edit catch basin 4. So drainage component node, I want to edit it. Select catch basin 4. And under the elevations option, as I went through earlier, I set all my vertical alignment for pipes coming in and out of a manhole to match the soffit or match the top. So when I drag the soffit down for the pipe SS4, this particular pipe, I believe that's SS10, that came down as well. So what I want to do is I'm going to, instead of matching the soffits, I'm going to allow for a drop manhole. So it will try to match soffit, but if for some reason a pipe that is coming into or exiting that structure needs to go deeper than another pipe, it will just drop the one pipe and not all of them. So go ahead and allow drop manhole and click Apply. So that makes the change, but the system needs to be redesigned. So under drainage, I'll just simply redesign the network. It'll run through the hydraulic computations. Again, I'll have some warnings, but this time simple bypass flow unassigned, and again my velocity is greater than desired. But I can see in profile that that pipe is placed back at its original design position. It's no longer lowered, and so only the exit pipe has been placed lower. So you can again work in the profile or work in plan. One other thing you can do is, as you make adjustments to locations, so again I'll make one more adjustment here. I'm going to edit the outlet structure, and I'm simply just going to edit its location. So you can see the location of it, and I'm going to grab it and I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to apply to set the new location. You can see the pipe there has come with it. So the pipe was attached to the structure and move with it, so I don't have to reconnect the pipe. And again, I just go to Network and Design, and it will shorten the profile if necessary. So you can make several changes along those lines to get the desired results hydraulically that you want. Finally, under the subject of profiles, we have a auto create option. The auto create option allows me to have the software analyze the network and come up with a list of profiles. So I can have it query my network. It will come up with its list of profiles, usually one main long trunk and then all subsequent laterals, and it will list those. I can highlight them and make adjustments or remove them from the list. I can change their from and to node and so forth. As far as drawing them, I can say up to down or down to up, and how to draw them, I can use my standard preference file as far as how I would like those drawn in the file. I do a fit view. I can establish the lower left corner of the first profile. I can establish a scale and a stacking offset. I click apply and it'll go out there and draw them all. And then I can make changes to them as I see fit. So it's a quick way of getting several profiles created and then use those to make adjustments to your system. Next, we'll take a look at creating reports, custom reports.